4 overall wins on the season. Not good. But one of those came against Miami. You never know. I don't know. I just feel like there's something in the air today. That's all I'm going to say. And it's not the pollen. Well, it is the pollen. I am stuffed up. Wow. Hacienda red card, Hacienda red card, Hacienda for our best of 5. And this map in particular, I think you look at and you say, okay, both teams some significant reps over the course of stage 3. Some improvements needed though, as both teams have really just kind of split the difference in terms of overall wins. Let's see what we get. Miami, LAG. Let's get it home.
Yeah, it's just watching Miami yesterday versus LAT and the way that they were able to control majority of the map all throughout that game, dominate off the rotations. This is going to be a tall task for LAG to try to contest with this kind of roster. Already 2 kills in favor of Super. You're dominating the hallway presence. You're soaking up all the P1 time. Perfect start here for the Heretics. Yeah,
looking really solid here for the Heretics indeed. Although Johnny Kismet opens up at least some space to work at through P4. And actually, LAG will get some pretty good time here on P1. Real held over towards Fireplace. Going to try to slide that out. Has help nearby. And that's Metals who finds the kill as Miami start to work on rotating across the map.
Yeah, it's already 2. Going to spawn all the way across the map. Miami able to flip the spawns that they want, but they have to locate where Kismet is. Thankfully, walks right into the frame of Super. You're also finding kills off the rotation. And Metals already has the info that the rest of the guys are pushing through the front end. So Miami fully set up off the roto. Fellow finds an opening and still is going to make this a little bit mixy.
Okay, a little 50-50 battle still over the top of the hard point. Super will drop. Pinch still on the way here with Real working alongside Metals, and the SMG duo will clean that up to get back into the hard point. But LAG will get a couple of spawns now on the backside of driveway. Help is on the way. Good nade over the top from Super. He tosses that thing from front side double stairs, I believe. Ends up giving Metals a chance, and now all of a sudden you've got a pinch start develop again for Miami.
Yeah, but this has been great work from LAG. Laid off the rotation. You needed to find an opening kill. Fellow's able to do it through the water hop up. And now you just make the chaos happen through the middle of the map, are able to flip the spawns, and not really allow Miami to walk away with a majority of the time here at P2. Still 15 seconds to fight for. You don't have the spawns that you want. Thinking about that rotor to new. But you know, we can walk away with this final 10. We have the numbers.
Yeah, Johnny looking for the last exit kill with a scrap. Pistol shots will at least push off Super. He will be fell. And now it's an opportunity to start moving across the map. Miami will spawn one more player over towards Boathouse before the hard point opens up. So it's gonna be a bit of a mad dash, but you can see LAG, they know they've lost somebody, and it's Real. Good follow-up from Johnny. Now you can start to keep your eyes forward.
Yeah, all your focus is on the front end. If you're Miami and if you're LAG. Contest is going to be here. Fellow just trying to dance around that corner, but going to overextend, force the chow, and unfortunately he's weak, so he's going to fall. Miami have the numbers. You go 3 for 2. Last guy here is going to be Kismet, successful on the first hold.
Yeah, really nice from Super. 2 from backside fences. Rencor has not fought over towards top office here. Nade will just bounce over the top as Miami will get the read that LAG have spawned behind. Super for the first, damage onto a second. That's enough for Real. No, thought maybe he could kind of snap find the second, but not the case. And a break does come through for LAG to get us back to close to tie.
Yeah, that's big time right there for LAG, because this is the hill where Miami will be able to show their skill versus LAT yesterday. Early off the rotation, majority of the time towards the money hill, and we're always successful on that first push coming in. Basically a tie game. Kills already going down. 2-2 split, but Lunas with a double at least makes it a 1-on-1.
Yeah, Kismet able to take that, and LAG will get the numbers here to try to reinforce. Metals tries to beat the timing, but gets caught by a stun. Real next one forward, already committing for the contest, but once again, nades push them back. Miami has to reset up. And they're going to wait for Metals. He's going to try to play through open hall here, so the timing is going to be exquisite in terms of how you have to break this thing open, but Metals will drop. The hit from the front has been diminished. It's 5 in a row for Kismet as LAG hold.
Oh, man, they're looking like a completely different roster so far. Okay, LAG. Shut me up real quick saying that you guys didn't have a chance in this series. So far, they've been able to set up properly, find early breaks on some of these money's hills, and just win the trade fights after that. Miami have yet to at least gain 1 second off of this P4 when they were early off the rotation. Luna's effective on the trade. He said, thank you nicely. I'll walk away with this final 10. But the Gorilla mates showing some life here in map 1.
Yeah, showing some major life. Up 40 points, open up P1. And Fellow's already there to soak up some time. Johnny not quite able to find 2 from the top side of double stairs, but Fellow down low, still feeling pretty comfortable with the Fountain. Still uses kind of his defense mechanism. Metals able to take him out of the hard point. Now Miami starting to push forward, and that kill onto Looters will allow the Heretics to get some time in response.
Yeah, it's 3 for 1. Kismet last man standing. That's now all 4 dead. You're able to stabilize on the map and create extra layers. Real just gets aggressive towards top flat. Guns Fellow out of his shoes. And now it's still 30 seconds to fight for here at P1. Miami are more focused on maintaining this side of the map. They want to control Spiral so they can have the rotation over towards New. But Johnny and Kismet, they found a couple kills. This is where you got to get aggressive to flip them out.
Yep. Yeah, Johnny's already sticking to move through P2. You see Miami spawning at well or trying to pick that up, and Johnny will have to play his life here while the exit time at P1 is looking pretty decent for Miami. Johnny just looks the wrong way at the wrong time. So now it's just down to LAG playing for a little bit of scrap, but mostly trying to reflip backside statue. And Super may not have read this, mostly because Kismet's got the Hellstorm in, so everyone has to take cover. 2 kills will drop, and LAG should get spawns here.
Oh yeah, Miami gonna spawn so far, unless that kill comes in at the right time. Raincourt lines up the headshot onto Fellow, allows his teammate to spawn right there next to him towards the back, but it still doesn't matter. The rest of LAG through the front door. Johnny finds a double, and they're still holding.
Yeah, but it's still going to be really mixy trying to lock this down after using the Hellstorm. You're thinking that you're in a good spot for this. Trophy system denied. Real for the opener. Johnny doesn't know where he's going. He's trying to pick up the trade, but it's not going to work out. Super from the front has already peeled off 2. Fellow the last one standing. And yeah, that's just one of those moments for LAG that is, yeah, a little bit off of just bad luck with the timing of the kill versus the spawns, but still the focus from inside the hardpoint, not great.
Yeah, that came down to trust right there. Communication wasn't the best. Johnny couldn't figure out where the pressure was coming in. He knew that there was guys coming from driveway, but didn't know if they were going to be already in his face through side door. So catches some bad timing there. You allow Miami to at least walk away with 20 to 25 seconds. Only going to be down by still 25, but the rotation one in favor of LAG. Real trying to contest response.
Well, he's going to have a little bit of help here. SMG's moving around the back. Metal's with him. And Raincourt from the front has just completely destroyed this setup again. Oh boy, you're starting to feel Miami kick it up a notch here. Johnny in trouble, backside fences, Semtex out, tried to take cover. Real working with them. Super finds the first kill, and Miami will get in the hardpoint with, again, holding on to spawns, and now Super's getting activated. 20 and 12, 3 in a row, looking for more on the outside of fences, but you can just play his life from here.
Yeah, superpower activated. I got the SMG in my hand. Let me just try and finesse a little bit. Eventually is gonna fall, but all that pressure there from Super allows his team to get right back into this game, take a slight lead going off the rotation over towards New. Again, they win the rotation, but LAG, the only reason why they've been in this game, because they find successful breaks really early on into these money hills.
It was Kismet last time we were here. Kismet to kick us off for the opener. Super and Red Core respond. Fellow off the pinch. Good for one. And then the follow-up on a Johnny is even better. So tie game 151-151. Miami refighting back on in. Kismet for one. From the side door, pops up to find a second. And Super is just looking for an angle, looking to take someone out of the hard point. That eventually gets Kismet. That is enough for the contest. Good discipline here from Super, but Lunar's there to respond, and LAG will hold.
Yeah, you're just choosing your chows wisely. There's no need to overextend. Give him a free opening kill. As long as we keep on trading, we're going to continue to hold on to this money hill. Final 30 seconds here at P4. A big pinch coming on the horizon there from Super. He wins the one-on-one. You got the numbers. You got the 4v2. You just got to take care of Fellow, and his final 20 is yours.
Yeah, going to be about a tie game here through our second set of hills. LAG trying to get themselves a first hardpoint win in a while as we go over to an LAG. Listen it.
Okay, yo, one's out low fire. Okay, low fire.
Open. I went right. I went right.
Okay, all right. They have our. They have our side.
I'm gonna pinch. I'm gonna full pinch.
I hear you. I'm coming top to you. Hold on. Give me a sec, John.
The rock.
Okay.
Rock.
We can try open, John. We can try. Okay, hold on. Wait. I'm trying open now.
Closed. All right.
I don't see anything open.
top,
They're just playing tight. They're playing
top,
close. Count. One shot.
Play your kills. You're good.
Yeah,
Almost mid, right? Yeah, I spawned. Yeah,
okay,
I spawned.
Yeah, you pinch office. One more open. Nice. I'm spawning out office.
Nice.
One could have split in.
He's in you. Dead.
Okay, nice. Get that time.
I got nade from you. He's 10 spawn. Top left.
Yeah, and top close. Super top close.
We want to hold two here.
One shot close. He's hitting up left.
Okay, I'm gonna get deep left. I'm gonna get deep left.
One shot. I spawned out, boys.
Real went
Play for no. Play for no. I will play for the time.
I don't see anything well right now. You're on the back of me. In the back. Metal's dead.
No,
Okay, well. Okay, they're gonna aim me in the back.
He's in new.
They're gonna aim me in the back. In new. One top metal. New metal. They're two new.
Rock.
Go
wins. I spawned well.
One more new. Metal.
Coming new.
Metal and
They're in front of me.
Okay, I'm need this time. I need this time. I need this time. Yeah, nice. Give up. I'm playing the back. I have the back. Okay, I have the back.
They're spawning out well.
I'm holding your front. I'm holding your front. I hear. I'm playing the back G-Wagon, bro. Yo, one's already deep. Yo,
I can bump.
okay, one more wall. One more wall.
They could be well. I'm not Not really. They could be there.
Rancor could be in the back.
The side door,
Okay.
They're
banging that.
Two lobby.
Okay.
I want to help him.
I just blew up. Nice. One shot. Hurry up, Don. One more in the front, Real.
Nice. Let's go, John. One shot. I'm coming, brother. Get our Zik.
Good 30, bro. I'm getting your mid. Hold on.
Okay, could be wall. Good.
One Zik. Or close set. I'm one shot. Could be wall.
Alright, get my time.
Nothing wall. They have Zik.
Go in.
I'm running forward.
Couple of pop-off moments. Johnny able to secure essentially what is a 1v3 for the time. That'll get LAG a convincing lead now as we move over towards fences. And Kismet's already working on this rotation, trying to put some pressure on Miami.
Oh, yeah. If you just had a very successful P2, and to talk about the communication a little bit more, when you think about listening to them, you don't think that they have only 40 CDL points and they are sitting at 3 and 18 in map count.
Yeah.
Everybody's so calm, cool, and collected. The small talk is on point, filling gas properly. Kismet saying, okay, potentially someone's going to slip on by. They're just picking up on all the little things. There's no reason why this team is as bad as they are, at least in the pages.
Oh, well, Kismet not able to get up and into 10. Does find the kill before the time runs out on the play for him. So now Lunars will take that position. Fellow watching over towards the backside of the staircase, but the Heretics pushing forward. Super, a nice route. Creates an extra layer in front of the hard point, and all of a sudden the Heretics have a chance to tie this game back up.
Yeah, realistically though, if you're LAG, you want to contest this all the way to the very end. Don't give Miami a hefty lead going over towards the Money Hill at P4. Make this a battle all the way to the very end. You got the numbers to still walk away with that final 10, but again, off the rotation, Miami have the numbers. Can we finally win some gunfights to hold down this hill?
I don't know what took Super so long to get into the CDL. He has been everything for this team. 233, 218. Trophy system in Miami in the hard point for now. Kismet working on a water route while the rest of LAG really haven't even shown themselves yet. So if you're Miami, you're sitting here like, where is everybody? Stuns and nades start to make their way through. Here comes Kismet with the pop-up. He'll find the first. Rancor stuck in the corner. And how about the cleanup from the SMGs? Real, the last one left, has to keep his life if Miami want to have a chance at this.
Yeah, he finds an opening, but you still cannot go. Your teammates are yet to be into play. Now it's time to go. LAG only need 7 more seconds. They're winning the trade fights.
First couple of shots are good. First kills are even better, though. Last one to find is Rancor. And how about LAG? One more maybe hit to come through on the backside of this play. Kismet just needs to not scam, and he does better than that. Finishes on 6 in a row. And LAG kick us off with a map 1 win.
My God, that is a magnificent map number 1 there from LAG. We're talking about losing a majority of your rotations, but always finding the key initial gunfight off that break to always not allow Miami to fully set up on these money hills. They won every single roto over towards P2. They won every single roto over towards P4. But it's just the gunfights and how they were setting up these breaks was absolutely beautiful to watch on the side of LAG. Kismet had his moments. Johnny with the AR and the SMG also had his moments. But dude, the fact that they just played a team like that as tight as they did when people don't really expect them to play the way that they did.
Yep.
Man, the work on the back end for LAG has been showing, man. That's a magnificent map 1.
36 and 28 for Kismet with 30 non-traded. All over the place with nearly a minute 30 inside the hard point and the top objective kills in the lobby. Talk about just doing it all. Of course, you also had the 1v3 from Johnny. That helped a lot through P2. That probably was the difference maker in this game, for being honest. And honestly, just kind of looking at how the ARs had played, Lunars and Fellow did a really nice job of making sure that the SMGs had space to work with. I mean, they may not have had the best stat lines ever, but they did the job when they needed to do, especially, I think, around going from 2 to 3 and then again around P4 a couple of different times.
Yeah, and the good thing about, like, with players like Fellow and Lunars is that they can do it with different weapons in hand. You saw Fellow multiple times on that map whip out the Jackal, hit up flank routes, do spiral, and just find openings for his teammates to have different approaches of attack. And it worked out to basically perfect there in that map number 1. And now you're feeling really good if you're LAG, because you're going up against a squad who just took down LAT, the best team in the game right now at Major 3. They clutched up in the game 5, and you're already starting up 1-0 in this series with a pretty easy schedule here in Major 4 qualifiers for your chance to make winners bracket. And also, you even heard the Death touch on it about their careers as well. Like, with 40 points, you obviously know you're not going to make it the chance. But if you want a chance at making it into the season next season, performances like this need to show.
One of those things, man. I don't know. There's just something about this Miami team. I feel like they could just, at times, just fall a little short. And here, you really can't point to too much, I think, in terms of like, where did Miami fail? I think it was just LAG was playing a better game today, or at least in this opening map. The Search and Destroy provides interesting context, though. I think that's the next part about this, because the Search and Destroy has been pretty miserable. I mean, really all the modes have been for LAG. Whereas for Miami, you know, I think they've been on an up and up, especially after winning 2 versus LA Thieves yesterday.
Yeah, it's tough though, because if you're LAG, obviously certain teams or certain players able to instantly mesh into a system for Search and Destroy the way that Super did for Miami. But on the opposite side for LAG, even though they have phenomenal Search and Destroy players, they just haven't really figured it out together as a collective unit. And when I watch them in Search and Destroy, it's kind of tough because Kismet and Johnny sort of do the same thing. Like, they're both individual playmakers. And if they don't catch their timings and they get picked off first, then you're just putting your team at a heavy disadvantage. There's also situations where Johnny's just completely out of the play, working a deep pinch, relying on a 3v4 out of his teammates to try to clutch on up. There needs to be more team coordination in Search and Destroy, and obviously with a new roster, that takes time to build. But I think like the combination between Johnny and Kismet, if they can start to be more in sync together of what they want to do, sort of like what an 0-4 and Neptune do, then that's when they can start finding a lot more success here in this mode.
I agree, and I think just looking at this map, it doesn't matter that they've well rehearsed. But on the other side, talking about additions into squads and just providing instant improvements, Super has been that guy. Yesterday, he was all over LA Thieves. Again, the tallies were pretty darn convincing. They had a 6-5 and a 6-4 win. That was on a Hacian and Rewind combination. But more importantly, the map 5, how big did Super come up? 3 different individual clutches and a 4.0 KD. He just took over.
Oh yeah, he definitely took over. A 16-4, 4.0 KD performance versus a champion that just walked away from our most recent major. You gotta be feeling good, but Super almost let that one round away with the Envoy with the 1v3 where he decided not to plant the bomb, but he made for it in the following round. He's just been a difference maker for Miami. You heard every time Metal jumps into an interview how this young man has been able to coordinate their game plan, how he's been able to set up their teammates for success. And I just need to see more of an evolution in their Search and Destroy, because I feel like they have the aggressors, they have the playmakers, but just sometimes Real and Metals try to do too much. And if you do too much without any information and give up your life for free, that's when you give teams chances. A map like Redcar, though, where obviously you're going to be able to spread the map pretty drastically around the map. You just want to make sure you're not that first one just giving up your life for free.
Yeah, well, it's going to be offense here for LAG. Looking towards B. It's a little crawl up through the bleachers. The only defender here at the moment is Real. The question will be, with Miami pushing up onto Fellow, how much of this has he actually read? And it looks like he hasn't actually read much of this at all, as he's backed down completely. And now you've got to just gut check it over towards B. And unfortunately, Johnny kind of backs away from the play right into the arms of Kismet, who gets tallied for the team kill. And then you lose Lunars, and this round has fallen apart.
Yeah, 4v2. You already have a pinch coming in from Metals behind Fellow, and he's going to be unaware, unaccounted for. He's just giving the information to my teammates. Okay, they're inside the B site, so just hold our spawn. We have the numbers, trade it out. Yeah, round 1 goes to us.
Yeah, that's just one of those rounds that I don't think Fellow sees either of those 2 players pushing up where they were. That's difficult. But then on top of that, once you get that read, you're saying go B, go B, go B if they're pushing up on me, and you just don't get a read on where the defender is, and you run into your teammate who's already trying to pre-fire it down. So tough seeds.
That's literally what it comes down to. Fellow gives the comm. Okay, there's a lot of pressure over towards Hedges, so let's just instantly hit out B. We have the numbers, but just not predicting once that door gets cracked open, where the defender was sitting on the side of Miami. Fortunately, leads to a team kill. Then Rencore striking for a kill. Instant numbers advantage to Miami. They secure the first round. Now it's their time for the offense, where this is the side of Search and Destroy that they need to work on. Like, post plants are not the best. The first bloods aren't the best. This is where they can take their S&D a whole nother level.
Well, we'll see if they can find a way to get that going here. Just kind of feeling out the defense with the trophy system to keep Real safe over towards the B side of the map while everyone else is pushing over through stage. Do they have a look at the player over at top third? Doesn't matter, because Metals is taking away a lot of space and has already moved up towards A. And yeah, if I've got this for free, why not go ahead and plant it?
And I don't know if Fellow was able to spot that cross of Metals going towards the A side, but now you definitely know someone is definitely close. Bomb gets planted. Fellow's able to strike for the first blood. Real makes it a 3v3 though, 35 seconds.
And LAG are still being held back. They can't get on towards the site, really even in the vicinity of the site. Kismet a couple of shots at range, can't finish off the kill. And now he's stuck. Lunars has already been shot at. He gets isolated, leaving Kismet to the 1v3. First shot's good. Dance with the second. Doesn't finish it off, but the help was there regardless, and Miami will go up 2-0.
That's 2 times now where Miami have gotten a jump on them just sneaking up on them. Like, no information gained early on. The fellow watching the crosses, he's thinking A-bomb is clear. Let me just hold down this soccer position. But then once that bomb goes down, no one's in a position on the side of LAG to try to contest it. You had a flank being developed, but Real secures that one-on-one. So then it all relies on everyone just dropping out through the side window, fighting gunfights at soccer. And if they don't go your way, it's just an easy hold there for Miami in the post plant.
Got to contest it. We know that one thing that Miami's been really pushing is trying to get those post plant setups better. Here we go. LAG nades over towards hedges. No one home for Miami. They've already pushed aggressively up the middle of the map, but this time Lunars has seen it. Nade also tags onto one more member inside P1, and Johnny will take care of that damage. This is just a really good breakdown in terms of how LAG kind of dissect the map and read where this Miami defense is.
Oh, the Meadows at least makes it a 2v2. Kismet instantly there for the response. Now Rencore, potentially the rookie of the year so far, in a 1v2 already spotted by Johnny. Knows he has to commit on the gunfight. And LAG with the aggression put one on the board.
It's really more of just LAG respond to Miami's aggression. You get Lunars for the first. Miami just pushing right down through Ticket, trying to support him with the player up top. That doesn't work out. And then the nade over the top actually hits the player in the corner. Makes for an easier second follow-up kill. So LAG, not, the first time through, Fellow kind of misses the read on Miami's aggression on the defense. Lunars much more privy to it. Makes them punish, and that's a good first round.
How can we start to rally some of these rounds together if you're LAG? Last time they got the jump on you at this A site, but this time we're going to be a little bit more aggressive up towards hedges. 2-2 split. Sun's getting invested with an opening nade from Johnny. Strikes for the first blood.
Yeah. That's going to just completely stall off this offense, especially with the aggressive crossfire that's already been set up. Yeah, Fellow also able to track down Rencourt. And opening set nades will likely dictate the outcome of this round here, as LAG was not only fortunate to find first blood, but they also got aggressive enough to take away the map from anything else coming through in a 3v4. So, yeah, tough scenes here for Real.
Yeah, I love the round call or play call there from LAG to go for the 2-2 split. Aggression over towards hedges, finding opening nade over at the B site. It was a team nade too. So the teamwork already showing here from LAG, putting into practice. Able to tie the game up at 2. Just like a perfect game plan there. Just take space on both ends, find the opening first blood, force them to think, okay, they're taking space on that side, so we can go the opposite. But they were prepared on both angles to tie the game.
Okay. After Miami showing 2 straight aggressive rounds on the defense, do you play something a little bit more traditional here? I have to feel like you probably do. It looks like, just based off their split off, it will be something a little bit more passive. You will get some attention here for Rencore over through the backside at Ticket. Johnny trying to follow up on that information, but a nade from Rencore lands onto Lunars. Seems like a bit of a mistake there, but we didn't really get a chance to see what that gunfight looked like. Lunars very well may have been one shot.
And now Kismet's trying to take space. Real ready for the gunfight, though. Makes it a 4v2. And now Johnny and Fella left to clutch on up. 55 seconds to work with. Miami getting active on the pinch. Johnny might have his hands full here.
Fellow trying to get in. Johnny gonna give him a read, but the first shot's not good enough from Johnny, and now Fellow's been pushed back in. The hunt is on for the Heretics. Fellow will take care of the first, but nothing beyond that. And yeah, that's just one of those situations. Again, we didn't get a chance to see what that 1v1 looked like between Rencore and Lunars, but try to follow up on that. You don't get the kill under Rencore. In fact, it's Rencore who finds that late nade. Just completely changes how that round unfolds for LAG.
No, 100%, man. He finds that opening first blood and is able to get out with his life. And then you got players like Real, who just wins some insane one-on-one gunfights. Was able to find 2 on that round. 1 on the Kismet, 1 on the Johnny. And with Gunny like that, you're going to find a lot of success individually. Miami take the advantage. 2 defenses now for them on that end. They go back on the attack. And I would just answer with aggression. Like, just, that's what works for us. Just keep doing it.
Well, Miami's going to hit very quickly through Ticket to B. Nades and stuns over towards lockers, and now they're going to see that they've got a wide open B site. It's gonna be a tough retake for LAG here. Now, I don't know how much they've thrown in terms of utility, and there's no trophy system down immediately here for Miami, so maybe there's an opening there, but this is a tough 4v4.
Oh yeah, because no tax get invested early on. Now you're gonna use them to try to retake your way into it, decide potentially look for the first blood. A half player's weak. Real cannot fully commit on the chow, and LAG just waiting for their moment to strike.
Yeah, I don't know though. That's stuns and nades that find value landing, and now there's a trophy system down for Miami. They didn't miss their window, have the Gorillas. Yeah, they definitely did. I mean, you had Real down to a bullet. That just felt like a moment where it's just like we weren't ready to actually commit to the re-execute back onto site. And I mean, the trophy system gets down, you're throwing more nades late, and they don't hit, and then you can't follow up on the damage you already dealt.
Yeah, that round just doesn't make any sense to me because you gain the information that they're aggressive as hell over towards B. You have all your attacks in your back pocket. You get a couple stuns to connect. You get a couple nades to connect. That is your opportunity to go. But when you're just allowing people to regen, reposition themselves a little bit, now you're just relying on straight gunny on some difficult gunfights where they had the head glitches. Yeah, not the best retaking opportunity there for LAG. Miami now pulling away 2 rounds in a row, back on the defensive side where they love to play.
And here we go. Nades being cooked up. There's a trophy system down. Johnny still takes a lot of Semtex damage, but Real pushing forward and finds Lunars instead, and then follows up onto the weak Johnny. 2 for Real, and the aggressive Miami defense continues here in their 4th effort of it. LAG will recognize they've got all of the A site, but Super's picked up the pinch. And there's just really nowhere the fellow can go besides just to hold his ground here, backside of A.
Oh yeah, 1v4. See you later, Tyler fellow. Yeah.
Wow.
Game point goes to Miami. Again, Miami with the aggression this time through B. They invest 3 nades on that staircase on the top side of the bleachers. Have Johnny down to 20 HP. And Johnny, as soon as he spots that, like, he gives the info. Guys, they're getting super aggressive. So someone try to help me. His job is to simply get out of dodge, but once Lunars loses this first one-on-one, wasn't really prepared for the gunfight, was switching weapons in between, and then Real knows Johnny's weak. We just slide in and catch the free double. Game point now, Miami.
Yeah, that's just Miami. Again, just going full throttle on their defensive tempo. 5 in a row for Real, 5-2 the score for Miami. Back onto the attack. Elevator route coming through for Rencor. All the rest of the Heretics are trying to see if they can get isolation over towards B. Real's got a route here. Oh, it doesn't make a difference. Fellows already dropped, and now Real's got a ton of space to run rampant.
Yeah, that's the first worst. I mean, that's the worst death right there you can get if you're fellow, because you're isolated at this B site to simply play for the information. But once you fall, hey, teammates, it's sort of in a tough spot to try to commit on this. Kismet gains some info that they're crossing in towards B. You know the play's going to be on that side, but we still don't have the numbers that we want.
Yeah, he doesn't have the ability to peek and stop this plant from going down, and you're kind of seeing the war on 2 fronts right now. Metal's watching for the long flank. Here comes Kismet. Super seen it, deals with it. That's going to be the game most likely. Real, yep, there's information on Johnny. Can just keep playing on top of the bar. Lunars does find one. Real tagged, but here comes the pinch. Metals, yep, that'll work. That'll work perfectly. Beautiful stuff from Miami. Honestly, that was one of the most fluid red card searches we've seen out of these guys, at least in a while. That was clean.
Oh yeah, very clean, man. The strategies were on point. Like, aggression was the key. Take away hedge early on in the defenses, force them to go over towards B, and then just catch a jump on them every time they were going towards B's. Nades connecting, having people weak, forcing them to reposition, finding initial first bloods, basically every single round. Just a dominant search and destroy there from Miami. LAG had no answer. Once those first couple of kills go down, or team kills are happening, or we're just dying in the first 15 seconds, everything is just put at a pause, because Miami, once that first kill happens, they don't just give it up. Like, they still take space with it. That's why it's so hard to track them sometimes, because if Real gets a kill on the flank, he's still going to be working that pinch, so you have to be aware of him. But Miami showing their improvements in search and destroy. They needed to show some improvements on their offenses. The aggression was key. Obviously, it's going to help when LAG are gifting you a free first blood, but a 1-1 series, I wasn't expecting it to be like this, at least right now.
Yeah, especially with the Gorillas looking really clean in the first map, and then we go to a control where, let's be honest, both these teams have really been struggling. So maybe an opportunity here for one of these 2 teams to turn this into a swing map as we head back to the desk.
After 2 majors of 3-0s and 3-1s, we could see more Game 5s in Major 4 than ever. Let's take a look here at what has happened so far, because it was an impressive first game for LAG out of the gates. For Rosalie was not on Twitter, but they're still trying.
They're still doing their absolute best, and honestly, you'll take that win if you're on the side of LA Gorilla Mates, on the side of Miami. Hacienda, Hardpoint Hardpoint's been a weird one for them, but let's focus in on the red card first.
Search is still clean.
Their search and destroy has been unbelievable. There's a reason red card was banned yesterday in their series versus LA Thieves. They're just a really good defense team. I think Alan and Jay touched on it wonderfully. That's like this iron wall, as Ant called it, that you just can't get through when it comes to Miami Heretics, especially when Real on attack is getting kills like this.
Yeah, I mean, Miami looks super clean here. And, you know, for their map pool, this does wonders. That's now back-to-back red cards. They played their last 2 red cards that they've now won. Consider it added to their map pool. I mean, you're seeing right here, this Real getting through, playing his timings. When he gets up close and personal, he's just going to find you. Then Super on the other side of things, like, he knows exactly what Real's doing and the impact that he's creating, so Super knows the space that he can take, right? So this is the chemistry that they've built so far with this roster, and you just seen it in full force. Like, LAG were guessing the entire time, had no idea what Miami was up to.
LAG, you are playing against a Miami team that took out Atlanta on land, that took out LA Thieves just a day ago. And you're at 1-1 going into a game 3.
I'll consider that a dub.
Right? Not a bad first half, but you still got plenty to go in the second half, and we are guaranteed 2 more games. What can we look forward to in more response?
Yeah, I mean, some good teamwork from LAG. We have never been able to do a telestration clip for LAG, so I'm pretty,
do we have one today?
Pretty excited. We do have one. Listen, LAG in that first map, I mean, they had some really good breaks. So let's jump into the quick scope and let's look at the final break here and just the teamwork. Like, let's jump into their minds as they're setting up this final break, right? So you got number 6. That's going to be Kismet, okay? And we're going to talk about what he does here. So this is on rotation. They need a break to win this. They have a general idea on what people are going to be trying to do. Either they're going to be trying to repinch or they're just going to be trying to set up here, right? So we have to go through the steps. Step 1, get somebody in position to be the catalyst for the break. That's Kismet. He's the step 1. He's going to go over to this corner and then he's just going to wait here, right? So now we have to get everybody in position so we can attack simultaneously. So what do? We got Johnny. He's going to be the guy here holding the push through, just trying to lay some shots out and make sure nobody can come through that angle. And now we have to get top hall and make sure we clear our pinches. So you're going to have Fellow. He's going to clear all the way through secret. He's going to peek for the pinch because as you see, there's always going to be a player watching that or getting active on rotation trying to pinch you out through hallway, right? So he's going to glance at that. Once he notices nobody's there, number 7 and number 8, they're going to pinch the hallways at the exact same time and clear those corners, right? So as soon as everything's cleared, you're going to see all the arrows on the LAG side of the minimap attack at the same exact time. So the catalyst here is Kismet. Get yourself into a position. Be the guy who can make the big play for us. We're clearing everything on our minimap here. See Fellow peeks at the spiral flank. Nobody's there. 8 and 7. Double peek hallway. All right, Kismet, go in. Find us a first blood. He finds 2, gets more than enough, and now we're going to all jump in, play for these kills, and execute a flawless team break. Something that I don't think we've been able to say about LAG.
Yeah, and it's hard to keep your comms flowing and clean in such a high-stakes situation like this. This is a 20-point game. They don't get this break. Miami Heretics close this out. It was really good teamwork from the side of LAG.
And 99 Kids calling game. Let's give the man some credit. A 6 spree to shut things down at the end of Hardpoint. It's now 1-1 after plays like that. Great breakdown.
Yeah, thank you. And we said there's 3 Haciendas in the series. The 3 maps they won last split, Chris. Hacienda. They got to win.
Would be crazy.
They got to win this control. Miami, I mean, you look at them on the season, Hasi, it's been bad. They win this control, they're in good spot.
It's a week of upsets. LAG, it's your turn. Time to take the lead with a Hasi control. Right, Shift?
We'll see. We'll see.
Why not?
It's just so tough because you've got Miami who's really struggled on this map mode combination, whereas for LAG, this has been one of their worst modes kind of overall. I mean, I think the biggest thing is like their protocol has been miserable. They kept trying to play through it last stage. So we'll kind of see what we're going to get from LAG because since the introduction of Hacienda, they've been a touch better, but still, it's just not been good for either of these 2 teams across the season, even though the last 30 days may lead you to believe improvements have started to come through, Jay.
Yeah, the good thing for Miami, though, is that they figured it out on their attacking side. Like, they're one of the best teams at just being contested, being in the gunfights, not really getting outslayed, averaging a lot of segments. 4.3 compared to 2.3 is basically guaranteeing you around 5 defense. But LAG, at least on the one time that they played this and they found success, was versus Carolina, and it was a clean 3-0. Like, they dominated on the defensive side. Kismet and Johnny continuously were just getting lost behind enemy lines, and that has to be what you want to do here. One team good at attack, one team good at defense. Who's going to be able to shut the other one up?
Well, here's the streak of losses for LAG. I think the most important thing about this, though, is like look at the quality of opponents that they've played in those last 5. In Toronto, right up there in terms of the lists and schemes of what we look at for good control teams. LA Thieves, same idea. Vancouver, one of the better respawn teams we have in the game. So not an easy batch of opponents, I would say, kind of looking at what their major 3 qualifier stage was. Like, they were in the grueler, man. They faced up against a tough Boston team. They had Carolina, Vancouver, LA, and Toronto. That is a tough 5-match stretch for a new roster. But here, maybe a chance to draw some blood as they will take the offense to start us off on House out of control.
And they already showed life and improvements in their opening HP. So, waiting to see what they got in store for us here on the control. You go 2-2 split so far in the gunfights. Fellow's able to locate Super, but Rencor's to the last man standing. He's able to win on one-on-one. He is going to get traded, but first push already shut down.
Yeah, Fellow just going to take that kill and run forward with it. See if he can maybe catch another off spawn. Rencor is too aware of that, though. Shuts down any nonsense, and Miami's defense starts to make their way forward now. Small progress being made by Kismet on to B. Help is on the way, though, for Miami's defense, and they will quickly find the kill and keep the clock ticking.
And now Johnny, the last guy here, trying to create an opening for his team. Has another one right in front of him. Has him weak. Going to commit on the one-on-one. The game clock paused now at 44 seconds. A 3-stack over at this beat point. Johnny already reading the pressure on the pinch, and Nate is going to be able to back down Rencor, at least for now, but it's unfortunate timing there. Still leads, so at least 1 second guaranteed.
Second on the way, but the pinch is also starting to develop here for Miami. Contest is in. Rencor sliding forward to catch one, but Lunars helps out, finds a trade onto Super, leaving Kismet just to worry about the front, and he takes the win versus Metals. Trades are still decent, though, here for Miami. 1 life the difference at the moment as LA are trying to find some success playing up top in the hallways.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're trying to do. Fellow already makes his way out through Rock. Johnny here to assist.
That works.
Johnny initial 2 kills.
That works.
Now Johnny finds a double, so you're already on the B point. That's already clean for dead as well. This B point might be done and dusted. Miami spawning all over towards both house, and now we're going to be forced to give this one up and just play for exit kills.
Well, it's a 1 life advantage. Never mind. I was going to say for LA on the exit. Kismet trying to track down another. Shots to Real decent, but not able to confirm the kill. Spawn trap not fully in play for Miami, but there's threat of it as Rencor's playing up in the lobby.
Yeah, that's all you want to do is just be a nuisance in their spawn. Catch a couple freebies. Make your approach easier on your defensive hold. Real's able to take care of Kismet. Rencor is able to find a double off the respawn. Last player to account for is Lunars, and that's a massive double to at least alleviate a little pressure. Can you make it 3? The rookie having himself a moment.
Yep, needed to see it. Des was talking about it. Even in teams that have not been all that great, we've seen some rookie pop-off moments. We really haven't had that from Lunars yet. Now on 4 in a row. 45 seconds on the clock. Give him number 5. Knows that number 6 is up top. It's a tough gunfight. Still locks into Lunars. Able to find the 6th. Challenges the 7th. Little heat check. Doesn't quite work out. But while all this is happening, LAG still haven't yet to really touch the zone.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. Like, if I'm Lunars, someone just hopped the point. They're all focused on me. 23 seconds to go. We're up by 2 lives, but if that get 1 wave, it's basically a GG on the round, but thankfully you still got the SMGs roaming. Opening double goes in favor of LAG. First segment should be locked, but they just don't have the stack on it.
I don't think that first segment fully came locked in yet. 7v4. You're trying to play a TDM out, but you're down to 13 seconds remaining. Kismet, good timing, finds one. Trade is out, though, for Real. 3v5. Johnny's already stuck. There's no way. There's no way they lose out on this. You had Lunars pulling all of the individual focus, and nobody from LAG can get back. I don't know if they fully got that first tick. I didn't see the scoreboard mark it, but I may have missed it. Regardless of that, that felt like a huge missed opportunity for LAG.
Without question, man. Definitely a missed opportunity. When you have one player individually having moments like this, where he's just coming off the respawn, not even coming off the respawn, just finding a multi-kill after multi-kill situation, we need to be able to hop the objective there. Everyone can't play kills when he's already finding them. But even when Lunar's doing everything that he just did, you're only able to walk away with 3 segments there if you are the Gorilla mates. So Miami have an easier approach here on their attack.
Yeah. I mean, it's just one of those things that, again, it's just, that's one of those moments that kind of distinctively gives a difference between the great teams and the good teams. And
100%.
Yeah, looking back at it, it is just 3 ticks. They didn't get that first tick at A. So, tough scenes. Miami trying to set up something over towards B, but the first 2 kills for LAG will stop that in its tracks. Metals able to at least respond and maybe even just win it out outright himself, but not going to happen. Super last one left alive. Miami spawning towards B2.
Yeah, now they got an OE through Rock's side. Super knows that he's going to be surrounded. Can't win the one-on-one versus Lunars. And now you're just hoping that your teammates can hold down this Rock pressure. Well, Allow your teammates off the respawn to get on now. Good finesse there out of Metals to wait for the teammates to get back into the play. But 45 seconds to go. Miami, we need some segments.
Yeah, we do. I won't say they're being too cute with this. They're still working for hallway control. Little peek out from Johnny. Gets the first and the second. Metals couldn't get the regen off. Real left to kind of display his life over towards bottom bar. Super, that's good help. You can actually have to take the mantle and just move over towards B, but Super falls before Fellow maybe missed out on an opportunity. So just down to Real. 26 seconds on the clock. Real's got to play his life. His help is trying to get here, but being held back.
Yeah, he just got to keep on finessing. Your teammate got to watch over you. Rencore, unfortunately, doesn't find that kill on Johnny. Boy takes down Real, so it's still going to be contested here at the B point. Kismet with the movement and able to secure the one-on-one. And now Lunar's potentially creating an extra layer through the spawn. Only 10 seconds to go. Miami last push over towards B.
Yeah, and it's pretty all shut down. Rencore finding one, trying to get over to stop the clock at A. Not going to happen. So as much as there was like a little bit of a scam there for LAG on the offense, they step back up and kind of give Lunar's the respect that he needed after his individual play that he made on the offense to stonewall Miami completely on this defense.
Yeah, that's what they do. On the defensive side, they are able to fill the gaps properly. Individuals are able to have big-time moments, multi-kill after multi-kill. Just never allowing Miami to fully set up on one of these pushes over towards a point. They were always scattered. Just like two guys off respawn, two guys in office. The guy in office goes into a gunfight. He loses it initially, and the players off the respawn have to take their time because you know that there's players in your spawn. So it's just a tough round there for Miami, not fully getting in sync. And now that you're down by 3 segments, you're looking for a shutout here.
Yep. Kind of have to have it. I mean, you don't have to, but it would be nice to kind of reset the tempo and just touch. Stun will land. Kismet trying to work on this with Johnny, and that, what? Yeah, even Metals is just standing there like, did you guys really just lose that outright? I was hit by the stun and stunned, and then you still didn't find a kill. Crazy scenes. And now Miami start to make their play forward. Defense scaling across the map.
Yeah, perfect break. Go 3 for 4, or 1 for 4 in the initial gunfights, and now it's already been 35 seconds wiped off the game clock, and LAG is still wasting time working out of your spawn. Metals, big gunfight there versus Kismet. Super off the flank, finds a second one in air, just keeping LAG stagnant off the respawn. This is not fun.
Yeah, this is a stagger after stagger. Rencore, spiral, that works. Yeah, this is not fun if you're LAG. 6 life deficit. And I think the thing is, like, you just got to get together and kind of clear this out as a squad. Finally, they get Rencore out of position. Real going to try to pick up the baton and make a play off the other pinch.
Oh my God.
Super doing the same thing, and that's just an absolute laser beam from Real. And yeah, LAG are not getting out of spawn here. Real for the easy follow-up on the Lunars. More from the front door, runs out of ammunition, but Metals is there to pick it up. And you want to talk about a perfect defense, you just got one if you're Miami.
Yeah, it doesn't get any better than this. 25v13, still got everyone roaming in their spawn. Player's gonna end a little bit on a streak. Rencore on 3, Super on 2, but you needed a shutout round to give yourself a better chance here. Potentially close out this map, and yeah, just all smiles there because that one was way too easy there for Miami.
Yeah. I mean, the opening breakoff just turns into this passing of the baton between Rencore and I think it was Metals on the other side initially. But then when both SMGs get forward and the ARs are locking down their backside and look the long lanes, it's impossible. I mean, you had players literally watching LAG spawn up and then taking shots at them. Crazy scenes. But
it's also too, Alan, like with the ARs as well, even though they're watching their lanes, they're still getting aggressive on those lanes as well. If you're expecting just Metals and Real to work pinches, no, Super's already flanking through your P2 side door and shooting you in the back. So Miami just consistently staying active in their respawns. Looking to stay active here on their attack, but already off the break off, 2 kills going in favor of LAG. Now they're looking for a shutout again.
Yep, you got a well push up from Kismet. Johnny watching the fireplace howl away while the rest of LAG are just making sure nobody pushes over through Rock Hall. Kills are decent though here for Miami. 3 members still pushing forward. Fellow's the only one in their way, and Metals just gets like a stray bullet to connect. That makes life a little bit easier for Rencore, and now the clock is paused at 58 seconds with Miami just using Real to kind of play a bit of a, spawn killer. Turned around though, Fellow pops up from behind, leaving Metals by himself. And as he drops, LAG will continue to storm forward, not giving away a single tick yet.
Yeah, missed time that pinch right there out of Real. They made a big time play there for some segments at that B point. But Kismet on the other end, he was being the nuisance behind enemy lines, and he was able to secure a bunch of one-on-ones, not really allow Miami to put all of their focus off the players coming off the respawn, because he was just playing his life so well. So first segment still being worked on at A. It already gets cleared on out. Metal's trying to make something happen over at the B point, but he's going to be surrounded. You don't have the numbers.
Yeah, Metals, though, does get a little bit of vacancy here at connector. Nade will tag him. He backs away. LAG still trying to force this double team out. This is good damage here for Metals, but he's getting pinched up by Kismet. Redcore and Super, they'll provide the kills they need to keep this play alive on the A zone. They're not going to finish the second tick. Instead, they're going to rotate over and try to get B done. So one tick done at A. First tick at B looking likely. Real up top at office only finding one. And that means that this play at B has to find success if you're Miami.
You need to win some one-on-ones. Redcore able to at least win the first. Gonna get shot over the top. Metals trying to play for the trade, but Lunars with the movement is already finessed his way back to his teammates back into play. 24 seconds. Real putting the game clock at a pause here at the A point, but all of Miami coming off the respawn. And all if you're LG, just win on one-on-one.
Yep. That's all you have to do, but maybe easier said than done. Lunars off the pinch, still getting lost. The Redcore with the shutdown has to make the play forward. Fellow would be in his way, and instead of going over to B, it'll be Miami trying to survive on the A point. Second tick at A does get locked. Is there anyone else who can possibly touch? Super goes for it, but is shut down. Metals over the top, finds elimination onto Johnny, but can't touch. So we'll go to a round 5, but that's 3 ticks secured by Miami.
I just think that Miami, the way that they were able to outslay in that one defensive round,
yeah,
scoreboard is broken. I was trying to tally up the kills. I think that they should be the team on defense just by capitalizing on that final segment at that A point. Big plays initially out of the SMGs to create space. You needed to earn yourself a couple segments. But if you got that third one locked in, they should be the defensive squad on round 5.
Yeah, that round 3 defense was so dominant. I would be led to believe the same thing that you do, Jay, that it should be Miami on the defense, but yep, sure is. All right. Got to find a way to make it happen here for your LAG. Again, it feels like a huge missed opportunity in round number 1. Can you successfully find some sort of a break off to get your offense going? Because last time around, they just didn't win any gunfights. And Miami was instantly spawn trapping you. This time, much better, as they're going to get early fellow on to B. Lunars helping him out over the top.
There you go, 3-2 on the trades. First segment at B should basically be guaranteed, but it's still only a solo capture. So Miami are going to have the numbers to try to reinforce their way back on. Then Luna's going to be stuck between a rock and a hard place, and everyone falls at that B point. So now Miami can get aggressive. Redcore gets the better of Johnny, and now you know, if you're Metals, they're all going to be on me. Someone come help.
Yep. Yeah, that's just another one of those moments for LAG. It's just like you at least evenly out-trade the break off to get on to B, but where's our follow-up? Like, what is our protocol after that in the mid-round? Because we can't be letting Miami just walk in and contest our solo capture on towards B with no help whatsoever. 23 plays 21. LAG. Oh boy. Back to within the realm of spawn trap territory, but a breakthrough does start to come out. Redcore, this would be a big one if he could find a way to win it, and he does. So the last members for the Los Angeles Girls are just on the point.
And now you're trapped. Already the first gunfight, the wall bang good enough for Metals to take care of Fellow. Now Lunar's last man standing. Can he have a big individual play again around this thin area? Unfortunately, timing is not going to be on his side. And with 20 seconds to go, you got to get past Redcore with the AR in hand. It's not really easy to take care of him, but the nade good enough to find the opening.
Super still in position. Metals also watching the cross through arches. But Kismet takes a different route away from both of them to keep the clock paused at 9.8. You need to find these kills, though, if you're LAG. Lunars for 1 trade. Metal still hanging. Kismet taken out of the zone. Clock continues to take it. The second kill is there for Miami. There's the third. And that will be likely the round unless Johnny can get onto A. No, not going to happen. Miami will take the control. And it's just, isn't that just the story of LAG, though? I mean, you've got a perfect opening break-off, it looked like, on the first offense. You know, Lunars is doing everything he possibly can, and we still just don't capture any ticks at all on the A zone after B had already been secured. Pretty big miss.
Yeah, that's definitely a big miss, man. You're gonna go back and watch that in the VOD session and like, you're gonna see, wait, Lunars, you were doing all that? Someone just has to hop the point. At least give us some more time to work with, because we were up in live, so it's just not really the perfect game plan on the objective end, and allows Miami to capitalize on it, but Miami, they were one of those squads who found a lot of success on their offense. They didn't show it. They were able to show a little bit of defensive destruction, especially on that one round where the break off goes perfect.
Oh, yeah.
You go 4 for 1. You got the SMGs roaming through the spawn. You got the ARs holding down lanes and also timing their flanks beautifully. Just the team that outslayed there put themselves on the preferred side, and Miami were able to capitalize on that control. Hacienda is one that they want to desperately add into their map pool because Vault has been shaky as of recent. So just putting that one underneath the belt, you're going to be feeling good about it. You're up 2-1 in the series, going into another hard point where you currently are on a 3-loss streak, but that's only to Toronto and LAT. You should stand a good chance versus LAG.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, definitely a strange control, but I think we're going to reflect on this, and I bet the boys in the flank are going to talk about that round 1 and their breakdown of this matchup. I would only figure. Just again, it's just, you know, newer team situations. I don't know. I don't want to like give them too much of a leash because it's been a full major that they've played together at this point now. The only difference is, like, in terms of a new team is concerned, like the only other team that's really kind of met the same types of resiliency in their schedule is Carolina. Like, if you're LAG, you played Carolina, Vancouver, Boston, Thieves, double dose of Toronto throughout Major 3. So it's just like, what do you do? Like, how do you really evaluate your squad when you're playing up against a bunch of teams that are red hot, especially in that major? Now you have a chance to play up against a Miami team that is just coming off of a high placing at the major itself. Still looking for an identity, though, I think, in terms of, are they actually a top 4 team? Yeah. The win versus Thieves would lead to believe that maybe so. But there's still these moments where you look at this Miami team, it's like it's still not as good as you want it to be in control. They're still missing out on a couple of hard points. It's just their search and destroy that kind of bailed them out, especially versus the Thieves team yesterday.
Yeah, 100%, man. Their search and destroy has been the thing that's bailed them out of a lot of situations ever since the addition of Super. But when you watch them in Respawn, they've gotten a lot more consistent with Super because he's able to put up slaying. Like, it's as simple as that. When you're able to find your kills, set up the proper plays, or set up key team pushes off rotations, like, that is going to be your key to success. And with this guy individually always putting up consistent numbers in the hard points, you're going to have a pretty good time here. You saw it in map number 1 at 1.5 is not good enough to secure the W. But Kismet was the playmaker. Like, he was hitting all the routes, finding opening doubles. And if you allow LAG to find breaks the way that they did when you were dominating off the rotations, you're never going to win hard points like that.
Yeah, that's very true. And just to kind of look at the track record here for Miami, we saw this map yesterday versus Thieves. It did not go very well for them. They were not winning any rotations really at all. But that's not just an isolated story. They played this map versus Toronto at the major and as well versus Thieves, and it didn't go very well for them there either. Now, in terms of like total reps, it's like the 3rd, 4th map in their pool. They're just a hard, we'll see what happens with Rewind, but you know, they really weren't, you know, a major protocol threat. So this feels like with Rewind now in the pool instead of protocol, you need to add something else into the map pool if you're Miami and you want to, again, be a solidified top 4 team in the game.
And this map is a big one because every time you square up against the likes of LAT, this is most likely going to end up in that series. They are a perfect 8-0 on that map. Yeah. It's going to be very tough to take them down on red card, but just to prepare ourselves to have a better chance of contesting with them, it has to start with rotations. Obviously, you won a majority of them in map number 1, but you weren't able to set up proper holds. Like, setups were abysmal. The same thing happened yesterday on this red card versus LAT. You weren't running rotation, and when you did, you were instantly getting broken into. So Miami just have to be better on their setups here in this map 4.
Here we go. See if LIG can continue to impress us with how they were able to really kind of limit the damage, even on lost rotations. A couple of moments that you saw them, again, just kind of get into a hard point, fight for their lives, take away more time than you would have figured. And even on a couple of moments, I think especially like the P4s on Hacienda, they were good at kind of turning these 50-50 battles into, oh, now we've won a couple of key fights, we can turn the map into our favor. So the follow-up was really solid on Hacienda. The question will be asked if they can do the same thing here on red card. Very different style of hard point, to be sure.
Yeah, at least in the hard point, though, they show teamwork, and the search and destroy and the control is more about the individual play. So teamwork usually makes the dream work. I want to try to force this game number 5. Already action going down at this mid P1. Both squads are playing for the gunfights before they commit on the time, and Miami dominate the kill feed now. 4 for 1. Time to hop in the hill.
And you've also found Johnny trying to hit a route. Same could be said with Kismet right behind him. Huge shutdown for Real. and Miami are feeling very comfortable in the hill at the moment. Now it's just down to getting a read on where the next hit's coming from. Metals opens things up. Follow up good. Another 3-for-1 exchange, and Looters is nowhere to go. This has been a flawless start for Miami with a couple of the players still holding on to streaks.
Oh, and if you allow Metals to have a hot start to start this game and he continues on that hot streak, yeah, you're not going to have a fun time. He's the X factor for this Miami squad. When you talk about their HP game, if he can go off, you're going to stand a pretty good chance at winning the map. A 6-2 start. 25 seconds off of P1, and you're dominating the stage presence early on, but a big gunfight secured there from Johnny. Spawns are able to flip, and Miami playing from the back foot now.
Yeah, LAG just need to win this next set of gunfights, though. That's the problem, because you see this motion from Red Core and Super to the middle of the map. It's restricting LAG to have to play on stage or behind the goal, and now Spawns will move once again. Johnny, good first, almost takes down Super as well, but the shot's too crispy. And LAG will have to play from the backside Spawns. Getting some time for now, 23 seconds, next hit underway, but Super gets caught, and numbers are still here for LAG, at least initially. Break attempt from the front, start to generate some good progress, and that'll be enough to get Miami in.
Yeah, final 15 gonna go in favor of Miami. Rotations gonna go in favor of Miami. If you're LAG, cool. Final 3 seconds, let's just die, because we're gonna spawn at that new HP. Kismet with the perfect game plan. Johnny with the perfect game plan. You laid off the rotation, but we're already here.
Red Core is going to be aware of this, though. Oh, gets away. Does he actually survive? No, not going to happen. Follow up from Fellow is good, leaving Metals to kind of work by himself through the bus. Good for one, but nothing more. LAG still spawning in the backside of the hardpoint. Real's pinch is shut down, and now for Miami, this just has to be something from the front. Kismet's still worried about this topside staircase. Catches the first, does not expect the second. Timing good for Miami as they're at least able to neutralize the time.
And 30 seconds to the fight for here. If you're Miami, you want to stay out, push towards the front. Trap them in towards the backside as long as you possibly can, but all of LAG rallying over through the street side. Everyone's going to be weak. Effective trades coming in from Miami, but the break is in for LAG. You're just not going to be in a position that you want for that next HP.
Yeah, this next 10 seconds is critical as well in terms of LAG trying to get some momentum built. How do you exit from this over towards new? Miami doing a really nice job of just finessing these exits. Time is still good for the girls, mate, but nothing more. One spawn out, though. Keep your eye on Kismet. You can see Miami are trying to react to that, especially with Real spawning close, but Kismet still may find timing here.
No, 100%. Real knows that, all right, I spawned right there close to soccer. Someone's got to be working the pinch, but you check the angle, and Kismet to take the super long route to find an opening. Now LAG have the numbers for the break. You already have Lunas and Johnny combining over towards stage side, and Fellow contesting through soccer. Spawns flip, LAG have the lead. Now you just got to watch the cross.
Yeah, Kismet's got an AR to do just that. Up top. Stuns, nades, goes direction. Nice isolation. Red Core takes advantage. Here comes the cadet up top on stage. Looter is trying to keep the gun up, but it's Fellow who covers him nicely from behind. Real Metal still trying to work their way in, but this has been really solid for LAG. Last 12 seconds looking good as well. And on top of that, just to kind of add a little bit of insult to injury, they're going to find some exit kills and start rotating over to new.
Yeah, this is fantastic. Now you sort of going to put yourself in a number situation off the rotation to new. You were late to the party, but you're already going to be in a position to contest it. Both the ARs find an opening. Fellow through mid-ticket looking for the trade onto Rencore, but he's prepared for the gunfight, and Miami able to hold on to the first wave.
Trophy system down. Kismet on the flank. Took him a second, but still found the kill he wanted. Super should be traded here at Escalators, but slips away. Real at ticket keeps the hard point open, and now Kismet's essentially on his own. Does well to catch the first, but nothing more. Miami now with numbers. Follow up from LAG, going to be happening from the B bomb site, but yeah, Miami's got a really good lockdown on this.
I feel like that was one of those situations where if you're Kismet, it was cool to like create that extra layer there, but you're finding two initial kills. Your ARs are set up to watch over you. We could have been in position there to soak up a lot of time because we knew where the pressure was coming in, but you make it hectic, and the Heretics usually love that chaos. Basically a tie game at the end of this P5 with Real ripping out an extra AR to find a couple kills. As we go into our second set, Miami are thinking, wait, we've dominated a majority of these rotations. They just keep on getting a lucky spawn here and there to allow them back into this game.
Pinch shut down on the Lunars. You can still see Real worried about the flank, but this next hit's going to be all from the front, but Red Core, his own flank up top, has him looking down onto just about the entirety of that LAG break attempt. And the first 20 seconds are not just good for Miami. It's nearly perfect with a chance to try to push a little bit further out. Real, though, gets shut down, and the new battleground has been staged.
Yep. Now it's all about the stage fight. Kismet able to take care of Super. Rencor, you're the next man up. Absolutely rips Kismet off the top side of the head. And if you're feeling yourself, you're going to go for the Eagle Chow on the fellow. But he's able to find a double. Get him off for the time for now. Hope the teammates can get back into the play so we can potentially walk away with this final 15. But Real making the heads up play. We want the stage spawn. Let me hit a little bit of a flank. The last player alive is going to be Lunars. You don't find the kill when still before that new hill pops, LAG have the spawns that they want.
Yeah, Super though, over towards Globe, able to find Kismet in the old time. Hardpoint opens, Miami the first one's in. A split spawn situation here, Lunar's finding the first 2 kills. And now you've got Kismet working a bit of a pinch. And he's gonna find the opener. Really good stuff here from LAG, taking advantage of the off spawn. Now Miami are panicking a touch.
Okay, what's their route to work out of this trap? Find an opening over towards Sage. Great shots out of Super. Now we can drop in, potentially contest the hard point, but Kismet keeps his teammate alive. It's just all about these fights in the middle of the map, and Fellow with the AR lines up a double. Still the spawns in favor of LAG, and Miami now with 20 seconds left. Someone's got to OE.
And it looks like they're all gonna try to OE. You've got one member in what I believe is Rencor, who's trying to kind of finesse some of this time, but as they lose gunfights on rotation, LAG gonna have a chance to go scrap to initial from 2 to 3. Lunars just needs to stay in the hard point, and it looks like he's gonna do just that. Hard point will open up. LAG gonna be able to get a lead back here.
And you know exactly where the press is going to be coming in, because none of Miami contested on the old time of P2, so they all have to be working around the back end. And if you're Lunars, you got to time this to perfection. You know you're going to be surrounded. You got an SMG in hand. You're at least able to find a double to alleviate some of that pressure. But Miami have the numbers. They find the break.
Yeah, all 4 members are here. Super stuns himself. Doesn't really get the bounce he was anticipating. Johnny for 1 up top on the staircase. It actually catches Super mid reload, and that's now 3 down immediately. So just as much as it looked like it was going to be a convincing setup for Miami, LAG able to break back through a full 4-man wipe, all of it coming flawlessly. And they can now grow on that lead with 20 seconds to the 5-4.
Yeah, Miami are trapped. They know they have to work their way out of this spawn. We don't want to be on the backside of this staircase when that P4 pops. So thankfully, a little route there out of Rancor allows his teammates to spawn over towards Ticket. You win the one-on-one. You technically have the rotation towards New, but you're going to be outnumbered. Someone needs to win a one-on-one.
Real wins a key 1 versus Kismet. LAG, wow, good clearance at mid. And they get the 1v1 win into Real on the backside. So now you've got LAG just trying to push out the member inside the hard point. It's Metals, last one left. A little bit of team damage, but it's inevitable. Metals will fall, and LAG will get their break. Johnny's on 1, 6 in a row. Snap up to Rencor will work out. 7 in a row for him. And a little bit more hard point time. He may get the Hellstorm to put this map out of reach.
Oh my God, Lunars is lining them up, peppering everyone across the map. The early break has led to a lot of successful time here at the stage hill. LAG, ever since the addition of Fellow and Johnny to this lineup, they have yet to force a game number 5. They breached that 200-point mark. Miami, no, we can't give up all this time for free, but we need time at new HP.
Yeah, Hellstorm gets earned, not just for Lunars, but Fellow soaking up the hill has gotten a second one. So you got to be thinking for LAG, you're setting up this move over towards Bleachers by using one of the 2 of those. 50-point game. Lunars, good timing on this route. We'll catch 1 for free. They don't know where exactly Super is, but Kismet able to sniff him out. That very well may be game right there. I mean, this is going to be so tough for Miami to work their way back in against 2 Hellstorms.
Oh, but Rancor finds a double. Rancor is able to find a triple. So if you're LAG, this is immediately time where someone on the respawn is investing one of those Hellstorms, but just going to rely on the gunny, trying to work their way out of this little bit of a trap that they got going on. Kismet is able to find 1. Lunar's effective on the trade, but it's still Miami holding potentially for the final 25.
Yeah, here's Fellow calling his in. Ordnance gets set out, clears off the hard point. Johnny gets another win on top of that. And Lunars, doesn't actually get the win on the Rencor. Follow from Johnny, though, is good at the stairs. But that's only enough to keep the hard point open. Not enough to get LAG back on. Real's in a really good spot playing frontside staircase. Kismet, though, has seen it. Not enough to get the kill, but enough to at least have the awareness that there's trouble on the way, and then eventually snaps to find Real from behind.
Only need 40 points. If you're LAG, you look for a couple kills in sync. At least for now, you know you have ticket presence. Just gotta watch out from head side because Real's trying to take care of Kismet on towards the point. The air is able to keep him alive, and LAG just need to continue on holding because they're slaying them to bits.
Yeah, they're looking really solid right now over the top of P1. Lunar's just making sure nobody hits over through tickets. I mean, no one's actually watching over his mid. Johnny for one, snaps over, looking for another, but trades are good for Miami. 175-230. This game's not done yet, but it is starting to get to that point where Miami need to put together a clean set of kills that they want to try to rotate, not just to get this last time on one, but they need to get a good setup for two as well.
Yeah, it'd be cool to walk away with this final 10 seconds here at P1, because that basically guarantees that LG are going to spawn on the backside of that P2, and you can sort of have them trapped the way that you want. With a minute and 25 left to go on the game clock. LG only need 15 points. You already have a player playing the objective. Miami have the positions that they want. You just got to get in the hard point.
Yeah, good help. Reality will only find one inside the hard point. Over the top, Kismet shuts down Red Core, leaving Super as one of the last ones left. And as he drops, now it's just desperation time for Miami. LAG's hard point coming to play in this first matchup of their Major 4 qualifiers. A last slide in doesn't quite get there in time, and LAG take both hard points, getting us to 5.
That is unbelievable, man. For a squad who struggled so bad in HP. Obviously, you go to the Major, you get 3-0. You had no success all throughout stage 3 qualifiers and the Major. You go 1-8, but versus one of the top dogs, potentially one of the top 4 teams that we have in the league in Miami, who were able to show a lot of dominance yesterday in their hardpoint game versus the best hardpoint team in the game. They can't really figure it out today. Like, their setups are easily getting broken into. That has been a story so far, both these HPs. The way that LAG are setting up these breaks. Like, when you're starting off the game, Miami are thinking, okay, we're finding all the kills at the end of P2. We know that if we kill them in the final 5 seconds, they're going to spawn in the back already in a position to contest us. But with LAG realizing that, they're just like, okay, I'll die in the final 5 seconds, so I'll put myself in a better position instead of running all the way across the map. And they always make those gunfights count. That's the biggest thing, man, because it's just unbelievable. Like, with a squad who doesn't really have any teamwork in the search and destroy and in the control, their hard points, and the way that they're able to set up on some of these breaks is insane. We're going to a game 5, which I had no clue that we were going to be in this position.
I'm telling you, man, it's just Miami feels like one of those teams that's subject to a loss versus a squad like an LAG or like a Cloud9 or something like that. It's just some days they come out and they just don't have it all locked up. Now, to be fair, both hardpoints have been competitive, but LAG have just looked a little bit better. So we'll see what happens as we look back on this back and forth affair between Hacienda and Red Card. We'll finish it off with Hasi on the Search and Destroy for map number 5. Welcome to Sunday. Be right back.
The Esports World Cup is an official partner of the Call of Duty League.
Upgrade your game with the SCUF, the official controller of the Call of Duty League.
The Call of Duty League is brought to you by Monster Energy, the official energy drink of the CDL.
Impossible situation.
They've done it. They've done it. The first points of the season for the Vegas Falcons.
Series win.
Hexton has nothing against.
Vindication.
We got effects and everything. We got effects and everything.
This guy Alex, unbelievable. He is a
First series win for the Vegas Falcons. Vindication. For all 4 of those
I can't believe it. Oh my God.
Unloved champions across the board. They have only done it.
They watched us play Searchlight that? Oh my God, they're shit.
I got it so bad.
What is this
9 and 4.
spot? What?
Oh, that looks very uncomfortable. Very, very uncomfortable.
No, it does. Yeah.
You're basically balancing your nipples on a metal pole.
For some, that's a talent.
Yeah?
Now the Ravens soar. Now the Ravens battle. The final 5 moments for them now. What a turnaround. What a tournament. survive. Arctic Texas, go home.
I can't do anything. These two hills right here, these two hills, you can win on these.
Oh, shit.
Oh, there's one hallway, one hallway.
No way, this guy.
Damn.
The 2025 LAG Team Pack is available right now. Each pack includes home and away operators, as well as this weapon camo to assert your royal will in the lobby. Next time you boot up, suit up at the in-game shop.
Welcome back, everybody. We've got a good one. Didn't expect that. I think a lot of us out here were thinking that Miami, after their win yesterday, would come out and just wipe the floor with LAG, but these boys got some battle, Jay. We're going to 5. It's Hacienda. Talk to me.
It's just something in the air so far throughout this weekend. A weekend full of upsets. But to talk about the map 5 between both of these squads, so far on the season, LAG are sitting at 1-5. Dead last. No ice in their veins. Miami, on the other hand, are basically 50-50 in their game 5s. But this is a majority of the season. This is not on the new rosters. LAG with this new squad have yet to go to a game 5 in this series, so I have no idea what their ice is going to look like. But just to talk about their search and destroy of what they showed in map number 2 is that they just got outclassed on the gameplay. Miami kept them on their toes. They showed a little presence here on one side, and then they got a flank on the other end, and then just consistently hitting the audible on all those play calls just never really allowed LAG to get a full read of what they were throwing at them.
Yeah.
And you just can't allow Miami to dictate that same way. Like, Real and Meadows can't be the enforcers here on map 5.
No, that's absolutely true. And again, like, the red card is going to feel very different than what we have here at this Hacienda. I don't anticipate that Miami is going to run as recklessly. Reckless isn't the right word. They're not going to run as deeply, I think, with their defensive tempo that we saw on red card. But we have seen a number of moments where Miami have kind of flipped the script and kind of thrown a curveball in the search and destroys. I think especially early, like we even saw a little bit of that like versus LA Thieves, where it's just like they're doing stuff that just you would not expect. So could be an opportunity for them to kind of keep an edge there as we're about ready to go in, I think, to map number 5. I haven't seen that screen, so small little pause. Any other stats kind of stand out to you, Jay, though, before we jump to map 5?
Well, you better be able to handle super. That guy in map 5 is unbelievable. You saw that stat before they changed it. He's sitting at like a 1.5, a 1.6 in the icy moments of the game 5. Has a lot of clutches underneath his belt. Never shies away from the moment. Even versus some of the best teams in the game, he is still overwhelming in that game mode. And if he continues to just be that deciding factor where he's finding first blood, setting up his SMGs to take space on the opposite side, it's going to be a lot to handle because Super Duper is looking like he's got superpowers sometimes in these map 5s.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah, he has just been so solid all the way throughout really every single mode for this Miami team, which is, you know, again, like one of those situations, just to kind of speak to it a little bit, like, you know, you go all the way back to Black Ops 4, the last time that Heretics was an organization kind of in Call of Duty, and they had that year that was sometimes good, sometimes bad. Super wasn't a part of that team. He was actually still playing in what was like the open bracket at that time with teams like Giants and stuff. And then you get into like this long haul through challengers where every single year that we would do like a top challengers players list at the end of the year, he always found himself as one of the top slaying SMGs in the mix, especially out of Europe. But it just never came to a point where he was getting an opportunity to be flown in and get a visa with any of their teams. So right time, right place here, this Miami Heretics team. As they look to try to close off another map 5 here this weekend to start off their split 2-0 would be big.
And trying to be icy again in search and destroy, this time doing it in the Neslo fashion. Definitely was not expecting to be in this situation with how their hardpoint looked yesterday versus the Thieves, but we're here. We got to be able to handle this. Map number 5 on Hacienda. Here we go.
It's going to be Miami. Quick gut check play over towards B. All 4 members going to flood this. Kizit's going for a water route, so John is going to be playing from behind the site. Oh, does that stun actually hit anyone? I don't know if it does. Maybe to split the difference. Here's the push out. And they will find Johnny. Kismet also seen. Yep, Miami. Quick aggression going to work out here. 4v2 for the post plant.
this is what the Heretics do. For some reason, when they're working this objective over towards the B site, they love to plant it on offense side and immediately take that space away. Don't give the defensive squad any opportunities. You saw the way that Johnny and Kismet were trying to work in sync. Johnny was just playing possum. He was just allowing them to throw all the stunts, everything they wanted over towards B, to try to create an opening there for Kismet. Once they find that first kill, already take space at office, everyone now gets a heads up. They have to be working the pinch to catch Kismet on the water route that cost you there in the hard point. A clean first round there from Miami with the aggression. Again, leads to 1-0.
And again, important to note that it's not just aggression, it's also their ability to scale deeper through that post plant and also be immediately aware of when those flank timings could come through. Absolutely perfect. Stuns out towards Fireplace Hall. Redcore for first blood, though. That's across the windows and through the blinders, I believe, on the Lunars. Rial also watching for the jump out. He'll find one before dropping. Fellow traded. And it's now just down to Johnny. Doable, though, 1v2, but no bomb.
Yeah, he's got this in his bag, though. Like, this is why you pick up this young man in Search and Destroy to make plays like this. Redcore with the slow peek. Thankfully, he has the AR. And he's able to gun Johnny to shreds. That's just one of those situations where, like, if you're an SMG player, you know that they're going to turn that corner. But just being prone in this angle when Redcore is preempting it, a couple shots able to connect right on the dome piece makes it easier on the approach. And Miami quickly up 2-0.
Good stuff. And again, it's just another moment where you get someone through the play for LAG. Yeah, the first blood helps, but Rial's the one that I really look at to say he's the one who really stops that play for LAG. Him sitting up towards that top well archway, finding a kill with a jump out is so massive towards Miami, knowing what this setup's going to look like. And now double trophies may not be needed, but still down regardless. And it's a quick 4-man hit to A. No one home. Thanks for the free plant.
Yep, and we're going to push through to your spawn, so you can work the pitch as long as you want. We already have space to your side. Thankfully, Lunas is able to find one. Super trying to play for the trade or potentially set up Rial for a free double. Everyone is weak. Rial keeps on sliding, but it's a 2v2.
Metal still playing over at connector. Super rotating back to try to help him with that window play. Long drop for Kismet through well. Seen by Super. That is so much information. Now they're going to reset their post plant. Make sure nobody is pinching. You stun check it. It lands. Oh, gosh. And now you've got Metals in a perfect spot behind this play. He catches his first one. Fellow now in the 1v1, and there's just nowhere to go. That is so good for Miami. Again, so good.
Just reading early on into the round. Okay, there's no presence over towards A. Let's get the bomb down, take space on their side, and then once all the chaos settles in the top side of office, it's a 2v2. You got Super Duper making super plays. Like, he just throws an extremely good shoulder on the backside of Arch, gains the info onto Kismet, does not commit on the gunfight, just allows that game clock to keep on ticking down and force Kismet to try to make a play there. Just heads up play from Miami, playing with the information gained. They're able to go up 3-0.
What a start for the Heretics. LAG trying something different. Redcore up top. He's seen that there's a couple of members who played through Fountain. What do you do with the 3 members for Miami defensively that are at B? And they're going to go for the long rewrap. And look what Rencore's doing. He's just going to play anchor all the way back in their spawn and let this flank do the work for him.
Oh, yeah, he's a safety net. Okay, Rencore, you're playing for the info. If they push to our spawns, a couple free use for you. Just a lot of teammates to get themselves into the play as they are going to be instantly on the flank route. At this speed point, you're going to fly on in, force a team kill, walk away with the numbers, sounding it out.
And the bomb hasn't been planted yet either, Jay. This is just the worst news right now for LAG because here comes Rencore. Although, Lunars able to actually feel that one out, find the kill. We go 2v2. And there will be enough time and space for Lunars to get this plant off. Johnny tagged. Oh, big win for Rial. Now it's just down to Lunars 1v2.
You're the rookie on the other end. Look at floor clutch moment, makes it a 1-on-1.
Oh, the opening shots are good, but Rial a little bit too clean with the SMG. Will keep his streak alive, and most importantly, Miami will be up 4-0.
These are just unreadable. I'm telling you, Alan, like, if you're spawning in your LAG, you're like, okay, we took mid-map. We showed some presence here at this site. And they have yet to show us anything. And by the time they show us, they're already in the play to affect us on our game plan. Rencore backs up to the spawn. No one pushes through. Everybody else works the pitch over through well side. You force a team kill. You're able to also win on one-on-one and walk away with the numbers. And I thought Rencore, at least when it was a 3v2, plays that a little bit too quick, but thankfully Real was able to clutch up for Miami.
And now their first look, trying to play something over towards Fountain. That nade does not really get there for Real. This is a bold opportunity, and are you kidding? With the pistol, Real takes care of 2. Lunars did open with the first double, though. So it's an early 2v2, but again, look at the space, and Rencore immediately knows he can plant.
You're going to plan it for office as well, and if you're LAG, you're not expecting them to plant on this angle.
Oh, gosh.
But initially, they're already clearing out this space. Now they just want to hold down this position, but Real predicts perfectly. 2v1 now left up to Kismet.
Yeah, and this is such a difficult decision for Kismet. Timing here is decent. Should catch one, and does. But now is the big problem. Where has Rencore gone? And the last place he may expect him is all the way back through Flowers. And Rencore is just going to sit there and say, I know where you're at. I know what timings I have to play with. And if you don't jump out this window in the next 3 seconds, I've got the angle to play from the low ground on this plant. And that's just a huge heads up play. Again, Miami's going to go up 5-0 in map 5.
And it's just like the plant spot. It's just too much there for LAG to handle, because once they turn that corner from their spawn and say, wait, he planted it for our side, they're thinking a step ahead that someone's going to put themselves in a position towards office to play the clutch. But then when you're trying to clear out that space with no information, not checking the right corners, Johnny falls. Kismet there to make it a one-on-one, but Rencore, 20 seconds left. I spot him working his way towards top office. It takes about 7 seconds to defuse. It's also another 5 seconds before we even get towards the bomb site, because he doesn't jump out the window. But Heretics now at game point, looking for the flawless 6-0.
Another moment where, oh gosh, you look at LAG and it's just nothing has worked for you. Nade stuns coming through. LAG trying to make a play over towards the B site. Kismet on a water route towards Boathouse, but not enough help here initially for Fellow to feel committed to the plant. But now Kismet tucked in a corner by Tree will allow the plant to go through, but they find an isolated pick onto Johnny. Now it's a 4v2.
Yeah, 2v4. If you're Miami, everybody just fly on out, play a trade. Gonna clear out all already at Rock. Realize it's not a single player from this position, and they're gonna wait for a kill before someone commits on the defuse.
Oh, now they know where Kismet is. Should be an easy peek out, and there it is. Perfect. Absolutely perfect for Miami, man. And again, you know, you just look at how this team has progressed over the course of this year. Control still, you know, a little bit here or there. But remember back after like stage 1, we were talking about how this team needed to improve in search and destroy. Didn't really happen all that much in stage 2, but you bring in Super, and he's just completely changed the dynamic of this squad. Since he's joined the roster, they're what, 11-3, make it now 12-13-3 with Super on the roster. Is that accurate? Might be.
Yeah, I think 12-3 is 100% accurate. Even though a bunch of their search and destroys have been going to like round 10s, round 11s, when they have blowouts, they show. And both these S&Ds were not even close from start to finish. First one was a 6-2. The final one is a 6-0. It's just like Miami have way too much strategies.